Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video to clarify a big misconception that a lot of people have about applying to top schools like Stanford. And that is that you do not need a perfect standardized test score in order to apply to these top schools. There, I said it, you do not need a perfect standardized test score. Now, I'm really talking right now to all of those freshmen, sophomores, juniors, even some seniors out there who are, really stressing about big name tests like SAT, ACT, maybe even SAT subject tests, like all that stuff. And I want to go ahead and say that you can just, chill out. You're fine. Especially if you're the kind of student who tests well and you're right around that average test score, you do not need to spend all the money on all the prep classes and, all the hours taking practice tests to get up to a perfect score. You do not. You just don't. Now, here's the thing is I've been in a lot of group chats and talking with a lot of people who are on the class of 2023 at Stanford with me, and almost never in all of our introductions have we mentioned standardized tests. And that's very indicative of their place in the whole college application process, because what matters about your application so much more than your test score is instead the extracurriculars that you do, how you present yourself in your interviews, what you write about in your essays. Those are the things you should focus on, not these little tests that you take once or twice and then you're done with. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of talk about myself and what I look like in this process, but I hope that it really quells a lot of those nerves. So I take standardized tests well, I'm not gonna hide that. So I sat down for the ACT in the winter of my junior year, having done, a few practice individual sections, especially the science, because I had no idea what that was and looked like. And, so I did maybe 3 or 4 hours of prep max for the ACT. And I got a 34, which is a great score, right in the, ballpark for selective schools like Stanford. And I looked at that and I thought, shoot, my math score is kind of low. Maybe I can do better, but do I want to? And I thought, no, this is fine. I'm chilling. And so that was what I did. I chilled. I just took that score, said, okay, that's fine. And then that's all I did. And there are gonna be people out there who are gonna say, oh, here are all the practices you should do so you can raise your SAT score by 50 points, or oh, a 35, is so much better than 34, all that stuff. And don't listen to them. You are fine. There are a few regrets I have. I wish I'd taken the test earlier, not in February, but instead maybe in more October or something, because if I had a lower score, then I would have had more time to retake it. I also wish that I had done a little bit more practice with the math, but honestly, that's it. I did not have to retake it or anything. The other part of that is the SAT subject tests. Now, if you are applying to schools like Stanford that recommend subject tests, it's definitely a little confusing figuring out what tests you should take. Will it be look bad if you take certain ones or don't take other ones? So that I would say definitely go ahead and take a science and a math, and then throw in another one just for fun. So that's what I did. I took the Math 2 subject test, the physics test, and the US history test in the spring of my junior year after I'd taken, all the AP exams and stuff. And here's where I do wish I'd done a little bit better, but honestly, it was, again, good enough. I got a 750 on the US history, a 730 on the Math 2, and a 720 on the physics. So 750, 730, 720. And that's good, that's not bad by any means, but that's also not perfect scores. It's not an 800, it's not a 780 or whatever. And the one thing is that I did get a big curveball by those subject tests, because they have stuff on them that is not on the AP course load. So, especially with physics, I only knew about 60% of the stuff that was on that test. And so I went ahead and bought a book, a month in advance, and tried studying out of it. And I found it really helpful. I wish I hadn't procrastinated quite so much, especially with the math, because there was some stuff in the math too that I just never learned. I guess there were some gaps in my school district curriculum. And so I was literally studying the night before, trying to learn how to do series and understand that notation. And yeah, did not work the best. So definitely to that, I would just say study more, but don't bend your back over taking prep classes, spending much of time on practice tests. Just spend $30 on a book, or just find a free PDF online and go off that, spend a few hours on that. That's it. So all that is to say, do not waste your time and energy and money and all that stuff on big prep classes, all that stuff, unless you need it. If you're significantly below the benchmark for the schools you want to get into, like go for it, do it. But if you're right on the cusp, like you are fine, because instead take all that time and energy and anxiety and instead invest it into what you are passionate about. You know, like don't skip meets or games or whatever for your sports in order to go take the SAT. Like just reschedule on a day that works better. You know, don't cancel on hanging out with friends in order to, you know, practice another section of the ACT for like the 100th time. Like live your life, like have fun. Because at the end of the day, like those numbers are just numbers. They don't define you and they're not going to make or break your college application. Anyway, so that is all of the advice I can have when it comes to standardized test scores. I hope this was useful for you. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns or anything, and also like and subscribe. So thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever you are watching this. Bye.